Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. So I ordered a lot of books for my course a couple of days ago and they arrived, so I thought I would just, you know, jump on here and share those with you in like a little book haul. I asked what you guys wanted to see from me this year and it was overwhelmingly like books. So it's like, ooh, what book videos can I film? I know, I will show you all the things I bought for my course. So for those of you who don't know who are new, I take comparative literature. I'm in my third year and this is my last semester. It's the last one, and then I am done with my undergrad. It's so exciting. I am looking to do a master's degree. I'll talk more about that at a different point, but like it's very what I'm applying for is so different to complit, so it's completely something else, which is also really exciting. But I love my degree and these are like, I'm just really excited about these books. So the modules I'm taking this year, this term, obviously I'm doing my dissertation, but I'm taking neoclassicism, aesthetics, identities, politics, shadows of enlightenment, and topics in Afro-Brazilian culture. Because that's on brand. So basically I'm taking a splat module. I'm taking a competent module and I'm taking a French module. Yeah, so let's get into the books. Oh, thumbnail time? Right, book time. I have a lot of books. I didn't actually order all of the ones for my course because I had quite a lot of them. I absolutely love the 18th century France and England, so I'm writing my dissertation on. I will do a dedicated dissertation video, don't worry, I will. Don't know if I'm gonna do like a vlog or if I'm just gonna literally sit down and like explain it to you. But like a lot of some of the books that I didn't need to order were Voltaire's Candide. I didn't need to order Dangerous Liaisons. I've got Diderot's Rameau's Nephew, but because it's a lot about the Enlightenment, I've read a lot of it anyway. Right, first books. First of all, I don't know about you guys, but I have favourite editions. My favourite kind of editions are the Oxford World Classic editions. These are my babies. It's just, everything about them is aesthetically beautiful to me. Ignore the iron, but you see what I mean? Like that is, I mean, okay, that's fine, that's acceptable. That is where it is at, yes! And if you guys were curious, I organise my library, glorified pile of books. I organise it by author and then within author alphabetically, title. So author alphabetically, then title alphabetically. I would do it author, then date, but I am too effing lazy for that. So this is my solution. And then like by editions, because I'm much more in tune to like, oh, what book do I need? What did it look like? So this is Pascal's Pensées. Let's say it was like Meditations, which I think I have. No, I don't have Pascal's, I have Descartes. Descartes. It's got an S in so I can say the T. Ooh, what did I buy this for again? I can't remember. I am in a very lucky position that my mum has always let us buy the books we want. Also because if you've seen my annotating video, I annotate everything. Like I'm screwed if I have to use a library copy because I'm just there like, I need to write things. Is that a luxury thing? Probably. I think this is for, so this is for the neoclassicisms module. Don't know why. I've got a lot of men in funny hats. 17th century, because like Enlightenment and neoclassicism do go quite well together. I'm just not entirely, I feel like I'm probably thinking about that module having not studied it yet. I think my first lecture is tomorrow. I'm just a bit like, I'm gonna probably come at this from a very Enlightenment angle and I'd kind of like to see what the difference really is in what they're talking about, if that makes sense, because I'm like, I'm probably gonna try and make it very Enlightenment. We're actually starting with Michel de Montaigne. Like you guys might know I have the complete essays. It was the correct edition, so I didn't have to buy something else. And I'm reading some of those and it's just, he himself is a very enlightened thinker as it is. So it's almost like he is the precursor to the Enlightenment in quite a way, especially because he's like the first essayist, really. Especially if you think about it etymologically. Got there in the end, everyone. The French word to try is essayer, so it's like tests, so it's like to try, so it's his S, that's where essay comes from. So I haven't ever read Pascal, but Voltaire did Voltaire translate him? Voltaire's done something to Pascal. Right, where is it? Why does it have to be at the bottom of the pile? God damn it. He might be translating Newton, but I'm pretty sure he translates Pascal, and he doesn't do a very good job as far as I try to understand. Yeah, he actually tries to translate. You probably can't see that. See, Voltaire does try and translate Pascal. This was in his letters on England. Voltaire goes into a bit of sort of exile for a while after, you know, a duel or something like that. I wrote notes in this. Did I? I may have just given up. I don't know if I even read this actually. Or did he respond to them? I think he might have responded to them. Like he wrote it down. He wrote down Pascal's pensée and then he like responded to the idea. I think Pascal's is he a mathematician? Yeah, he's a philosopher. He's not a philosopher, I don't think, but like he's a philosopher. Hang on, like a The main thing that I know of Pascal is his bet. It's that you can't know whether there is or is not a God, so you may as well believe in a God because you have nothing to lose by believing in God. But like say there is a God and there is an afterlife and there is a heaven and a hell. You don't lose anything by believing in it and it not being there, but you do lose something by not believing in it and it is there. So it's like the kind of idea that you don't have anything to lose by believing in it. Yes, he's a mathematician, physicist, inventor, writer, and Catholic theologian. Theologian? Emma's had a long day. Theologian. I can't say this word. How do you say this word? Theologian. There we go. Thank you, not Siri. But yeah, I'm excited to read this because it's one of those things that like other people that I have read, mainly the Enlightenment. Especially like Montaigne, it's like, I mean, it's new classes and they like bring up classical texts all the time, so it's a lot of texts that I've like half read and like meant to read. Like I'm reading Montaigne at the moment and he keeps talking about the Aeneid and I'm like, fuck's sake, I still haven't read it. I've got it, I've had it for ages, but I still haven't read it. My bad. He keeps talking about Horace, Ars Poetica, which I have read, so that's quite interesting. I just really enjoy Complete because everything links together so well. Like how can you even study so much of his stuff if you're only doing like, say you're only doing French and you're not going to talk about classics, so you're not going to read Horace and stuff, then how can you understand so much of what we're talking about? Every other department is wrong and Complete is the only way to do this. Like how can you you have to know everything? I don't understand how people do this, like otherwise. So we have, all right, here's a name I'm not going to be able to say. Oh, and it's backwards, so I can't even read it off there. La Rochefoucauld? Are they the bishops? I'm pretty sure they're the bishops. Are they the bishops? A very similar name, and I'm pretty sure it is this one, comes up. If you ever look at the French court, especially Louis the 14th and 15th, they come up all the time. Duc de la Rochefoucauld. How do you say that?
La Rochefoucauld.
Can we check one more time?
La Rochefoucauld.
You know what? I'm not even bothered. I can't say it because the computer can't say it either. Yeah, so he's an essayist, and this is his collected maxims and other reflections. I have no idea why I'm gonna read this. Deceptively brief and insidiously easy to read. Great. I'm really looking forward to this now. This basically is a video of Emma judging a book by its cover. Unflattering analysis of human behaviour. Influenced writers and thinkers, Voltaire, yep, knew that. Proust, de Gaulle, Nietzsche? I can never say his name either. Nietzsche. The reader's best policy is to assume that none of these maxims are directed at him and that he is the sole exception. I'm assuming this is just about what people are like. Oh, I like this. My dyslexic brain likes this. But I don't even have to read actual paragraphs and pages. It's just like little... It's in French. Why is it in French? This isn't even a joke. Why is it in French? What the hell? Ooh, that's even better. Half the page is French and the other half is English. I like when they do that, to be honest, because obviously I do speak French. I mean, by my reaction, you'd be surprised. But I do speak enough French that I can read it and then I can notice if a translation isn't quite right or something. I wouldn't feel comfortable reading this entire thing without any kind of translation because I'd be like, Basically, I try and read it all in French and then I look at the English later to be like, what did I not get? The desire to be seen as clever often prevents us from being so. I think we all know a lot of people who act like that. this is going to be fun to read. I'm looking forward to that. But do you see my point? I'm just picking stuff again about how everything links back to everything because people are always influenced. That is how we're always influenced by someone else. Like you have to, yeah, when you develop your own ideas, often you become somewhere from someone else you've read, and then, you know, one idea is massively changed because of someone else, and you hear someone else's idea and you think, well, no, I didn't agree with that, how about this? Like, influence can obviously be positive or negative, but I don't understand people who look at a text and just look at the text and like, what about all the other texts that are to do with this text and all the other texts that in part make up this text, and my degree is the bestest. That's... Next is, this is plays, because I think a lot of the neoclassicism we look at is theatre based. I like having to read plays, to be honest, because my brain can deal with this in terms of having to read it. And mum always says that like you should never be daunted by having to read a play because obviously it's never gonna take more than 4 hours to read, which is just a delightful thought if you, obviously, because it... Oh, hello, I didn't know you were invited to the party. It's just so much easier when you like to read plays. I have never heard of this person or of these plays. I've never heard of this person or of these plays. This is 3 plays. Again, this is neoclassicism. I mean, it looks pretty medieval actually with the bloke on the front, so I don't know why we're looking at that then. Also neoclassicism. It's reactionary. I wish that I'd been able to do Latin at the secondary school I went to, because had I been able to do Latin, I probably would have done like, I don't know, classics, whatever, like Latin something at school, because I love classics. Like I'm kind of sad that, because the options for my course actually, you could do comp lit with film, which I did and then dropped because film is taught awfully. So I'm doing just straight comp lit now. But you could also do comp lit with classics, and I kind of really do wish I had been able to do classics. But I was basically never put in the position where I could have done classics in the first place due to my secondary school. So, great. Oh, this is an enormous box full of... Yay! I'm so pleased with my life right now. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, I'm in a good place. Because I ordered these all via mum's Amazon account. She always gets the email, so she texted me, I texted mum being like, I bought books. And she was like she told me she looked through it, was like getting all nostalgic, because obviously she's read a lot of these things, but like when she was my age. So it's just like, look mum, Molière, Racine, we've got, what do we have here? Okay, I'm gonna start with a thing that I did cheekily by myself, but I don't think mum noticed, but she's gonna notice the watch of this. I bought another Nancy Mitford book. This one is on Louis XIV, so he's, you know, the Sun King. So he, so he precedes, he's the king that precedes the king that Madame de Pompadour is a mistress to. So that is Louis XV. Louis XV is Louis the Beloved. Louis XVI is when he's married to Marie Antoinette. That all goes pear-shaped, more guillotine-shaped. But this is Louis the 14th. He's like the poster boy for absolutism. God, and Mitford just writes so wonderfully, so I'm excited about this. And I think the only other one of these that she wrote was about Frederick the Great. So I'm quite interested to read that, because Voltaire and Frederick the Great had quite an interesting relationship. Yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm expecting it to be just as, you know, juicy and easy to read as the other ones. And obviously I do kind of want to know more about Louis XIV, so I'm like, I could pick up one of those big ass history books. I'm like, I don't want to do that. So this it is. I'm really, really thrilled about that. Who else do we have? Right, I've got 2 lots of Molière, we've got some Racine, we've got some Rousseau, we've got Descartes, we've got... Sad. I'm going to be sad having to read Sartre because, yo, all I know is that he has some fucking issues. He has issues. Sexual. You know what, I'll start with that seeing as I'm talking about that. So this is the Marquis de Sade's Justine. Mum says she regrets reading it. I'm sure I'll get to find out why. Yeah, it's a libertine. Is this a libertine novel? I think this and Dangerous Liaisons are both libertine novels. I'm not entirely sure what libertine means. Orphaned and penniless at the age of 12, the beautiful and devout Justine embarks upon a remarkable odyssey. Her steadfast faith and naive trust in everyone she meets destines her from the outset for sexual exploitation and martyrdom. I love my degree. To be honest, one of the reasons I took this module, this is the Uni-Life one of the reasons I took this one was because I'm quite interested to see how these texts will reflect on my dissertation. For those of you who don't know, it's about the portrayal of women during the 18th century and how it changes. And this is quite interesting. This was never really meant for publication though. That's why I think you can't ever just look at the text. You have to look at history around the text. You can't just look at it in isolation. You need to consider the rest of it. Like The Nun was never really meant for publication. This is not meant for publication. So it's a question of like seeing how some of these texts are going to fit into my dissertation, because I do want to talk about dangerous liaisons as well. It's not one of my main texts. I'm actually going to do 4 main texts, which is apparently quite a lot. Everything like fits together really nicely, and I just want to see how well it's going to, you know, be there to prove my point. I just read the words nice and plump free, so this is going to be fun. My main thing as well for at my dyslexic bibs up there, I way prefer Oxford Classics editions. Very, very like, just if we're just going to go on the most basic thing. I don't know what you're reading there, so I apologise if it's awful, but you see how like, you see the font and stuff there, and if I compare it, I don't know about you, but for me, reading, it's just a lot easier to read the Oxford World Classic editions just because they're a lot better. This, vintage editions as well, these are very easy. It's just the text they use on the paper they use is actually just a lot easier to read, because obviously the way it looks makes a massive difference. So it's a lot cleaner and more cleaner to, basically it's a lot more clean cut, so there's less for my eyes to have to look at, and then it's a lot easier for them to not be confused. At least we're not reading 100 Days of Sodom, is what we're gonna leave this with. I don't know if I'm happy about reading this or not. I feel like I just have to, almost like I have to get it over with, and then we've done that. Next we are reading Racine. I think we're reading Phaedra of his plays. Not entirely sure. I like plays because they look like that, and they're not like massive chunks of like text that I like what's going on. It's a very neoclassical picture they've put on the front. Don't judge book by its cover. A lot of, I think neoclassical we're going a lot with like 17th century plays, mainly. Kind of, you know, it harks back to, oh, I've always wanted to read Britannicus actually. This is the first one. It's a lot about Rome. Really like Rome. It's because the Renaissance. When is the Renaissance? Amy, didn't you say that? I'm quite happy to read Rousseau. I always will prefer Voltaire over Rousseau, but I still think Rousseau has something to say, but I do kind of blame him a little bit for the whole let them eat cake thing. It's his fault. This Russell Goulburn, who translated it, I've read a couple of things. I've definitely read a few things that he's translated. So clearly he's good, because obviously if you're reading things in translation, the translator does matter, because some translations are good and some are not. A few, I thought I'd looked at the text, it was the explanatory note. She can't talk today. This isn't very long either. This is like 100 pages. Big fan, looks like a big book, 100 pages. I can read 100 pages in a day if I really commit myself, which is a lovely thing. Moliere, Don Juan. Is that the same as Don Giovanni? I think it is. I've seen the opera of Don Giovanni. Yeah, based on the legend of Don Juan. A fictional libertine and seducer. Yeah, but I saw Don Giovanni like maybe 2. Oh, come on. They fucked up sending me this copy. Oh, please. But I watched that. Saw that a while ago. With mum. Did I watch that? I watched like a year ago with mum and dad. Are we reading this? I think we're reading this for the same module as well. I'm so happy I chose a theatre module. It means I don't have to read very much. My dyslexics out there. Poetry modules, theatre modules, philosophy modules, book modules, no, short text modules, yes, she says, even though she loves books. I love novels, what can I say? Out of this though, we're reading The Precious Provincials. We're not reading Don Juan, so that shouldn't be too long. I think the guy in the cover looks as confused as I'm going to be. So this is Descartes, a discourse on the method. Method of what? I just love everything that surrounds all the paratext to Oxford Word Classic editions. I just adore. The introductions are usually very good. They usually give you a very good list of like further reading, and they always give you a chronology, and this again isn't very long. What the hell? This is 20 pages. Oh my god, I could definitely find a PDF of this. What the fuck? This is like, come on. Also, my professor, one of my professors for one of these modules, he doesn't put up PDFs and links, which is so frustrating. So even articles, I have to go find them myself. I'm like, for fuck's sake, can you just give us all of the stuff? Just spoon feed me, because do you know how much effort and time is involved in having to track down a text? Like, I'm not being funny, but if you make it a massive effort for us to find it, most people aren't gonna find it. Like for the module tomorrow, we had to read a text. It wasn't available online. It wasn't available as an ebook via the library, and I went to the library to look for it, and it was checked out. So I'm like, okay, I get to rock up and I haven't read it because other people fucking checked it out. Like, and then you're gonna be shocked that I haven't read it? Like, oh, so frustrating. And we have some more Molière. I think we're reading the Misanthrope. My French is useful when she's not rusty. Basically, this is everything I have to read between now and Easter. Also have to then write 12,000 words and a dissertation, 22,000 words. These books, plus a few more, stand in the way of me and my degree. Oh, also Dad did this really cruel thing to me the other day where he figured out my minimum. We needed to figure out what my mark at the moment was because I'm applying for master's degrees. What my like average mark was at the moment, and we figured out that in order to actually graduate with a first, like what the minimum mark I needed was, and it was like painful. So I'm like actually losing hope of doing that, which is really, really awful. I guess I can only make an actual like judgment on that when my marks come in from all the essays I just submitted. That was like rough. It's funny though, looking at these texts, I can already tell you which ones I won't write on and which ones I probably will. I probably will end up writing on Montaigne because I love him the mostest. These are all the books. I'm so annoyed. I could have got this stupid Descartes like online somewhere easily. That's another thing, is like obviously Amazon give you the option to buy things secondhand if you can, if like buy something secondhand. Check out the library, offers PDFs online. Hopefully your lecturers will put PDFs on your learning platform, whatever. Most people don't buy the books. Don't be fooled by this. Most people don't buy their books. Most people don't fucking read them, because this is something that interests me naturally anyway, and a lot of these things I've looked at before and gone, oh, I should probably read that. I'd much rather just buy it myself because I know that I'm going to read it. We'll probably reread it, we'll come back to it. Like, it's worth, for me, this is a worthy investment, whereas for you it might not always be, depending on what you're reading. There we go. If you want to pause that to have a look at everything that I'm going to be reading this time. But this is just everything that I didn't have. So yes, I hope you enjoyed, Emma does a book video. Hope you enjoyed that I've actually done got a book video for you. I hope you enjoyed the everything I read in 2018. Here's a preview of the everything I read in 2019. Let's see how much of it I actually read. Okay, brilliant. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you're most excited about reading this semester. Like, subscribe and all that jazz, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye. How do I do this without flashing my address to the entire world? There we go. Oh, cool.